Welcome to Storyline. I'm Patty Trenchak. The 17-year cicadas have remained silent underground for nearly 2 decades, until now. The Great Awakening is upon us. With red eyes blazing, they cling to blades of grass and tree trunks, joining in the familiar call that builds from a quiet hum to a loud buzz. We interviewed Steve Hiltner, writer and editor of PrincetonNatureNotes.org, who shared his expertise about what's in store for us this summer as the cicadas emerge from their dormant haunt within the earth.
We're in Petronello Gardens in Princeton, and I have a pet here, a 17-year cicada. We've been waiting for this one to come back since 2004. That was the first year I was in Princeton, and they were all over the place in that summer, and now they're back. This is an adult. They came up out of the ground as nymphs, and then they crawl up onto whatever they can find, a long blade of grass or a shrub or a tree trunk, and then they come out of their shell, a shell of their former self, basically, to become an adult. They do this backflip out. They get a good grip on a branch, say, and then they do this backflip out of their old shell, which opens up on the back of it. When they're almost out of the shell, they come back up, grab the shell, and then pull their abdomen out. And then they sit there, and that's a very critical time in their development when they're opening up their wings. They're pumping blood into these like little tiny nubbins of wings, and the wings expand. And if anything gets in the way of that, then their wings are all crumpled up because they're very fragile before they can dry. And they're beautiful white color when they first come out. It's usually in the evening, so they're kind of protected by darkness as their wings are expanding and drying and hardening. And it takes several days. They just kind of sit around as their new shell hardens and their wings harden and they get ready to fly. They aren't going to hurt you at all. They're just weird. Like this one just flew over and landed on me. They aren't very good flyers, so they just kind of crash land a lot, and they may crash land on you if you're lucky. There's a lot of types of cicadas all over the world, and nearly all of them are 1-year cicadas. They just come up after a year or 2 or 3, so there's no periodicity to them. And I think this is a unique aspect of eastern United States, is that we have these species that come up every 13 years or every 17 years. It's prime numbers, and they have evolved to wait for a long time underground before coming up, and then they come up in these huge numbers. These adult cicadas, they don't really eat. They drink water like that collects on leaves overnight, the morning dew. They need water, but they don't need any food. And they only live for like a few weeks or a month. The males are going to get together in choirs and sing to the females up in the trees. And then when the females are ready to lay their eggs, they lay their eggs in the kind of the tips of branches, and then those eggs hatch, and the first stage of the nymph is born, and then those drop from the trees and burrow into the ground, and they're going to be down in the ground for another 17 years, and that's the whole cycle. It's a miracle. It's just a really neat thing to see.
Thank you for joining us for this segment of Storyline. Join us again for more local New Jersey stories.